Osama Siblani is the publisher of the Arab American News based in Dearborn. Nice to talk to you again, sir.
Good morning, Michael.
Well, what is your reaction to this Juan Williams? I'll let you hear exactly what he said, and he's a National Public Radio, he was anyway, a reporter. Said this
know he is.
said this during an interview on Fox News. Here's what he said.
I'm not a bigot, you know, the kind of books I've written about the civil rights movement in this country, but when I get on a plane, I got to tell you, if I see people who are in Muslim garb, and I think, you know, they're identifying themselves first and foremost as Muslims, I get worried. I get nervous.
What was your reaction? Well, what would your reaction be to that before, let's say, you heard what happened afterwards?
Well, let me tell you, Michael, I did read what he said. I did not hear it, but I read it.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it after the fact, after NPR made the decision to fire him. And I will be honest with you, I have been working yesterday all day. I was working the phones with the leadership of the Arab and the Muslim community in the United States to approach this issue. In my opinion, and that's what I would say, and that's what I said to the leadership. We need to issue a statement asking NPR to go back on this decision, to reinstate Mr. Williams to his position if he was fired based on what he said. If this is the only thing that they based their decision on, because I think we are stifling the debate and we are muzzling people. I think we should let people say what they wanted to say, and then we have to sit down and listen to them and calm their fears and ask the question and answer the questions. And I think that, you know, this is how we create dialogue. I mean, we cannot continue on firing people that we disagree with or we think that they are speaking their mind. We need to sit down with them and try to make them understand. The caller just talked to you before I came on the air. He wanted to ask questions. He has something on his mind. He does not understand, or maybe he has a misperception of Islam and Muslims. And we need to talk about these issues. We need to bring them up to the front, you know, and have a discussion, a real discussion about this. I would have rather sat with Mr. Juan Williams and talked to him about these issues, not to be fired, and not to be fired because of these reasons. Now, as I understood, from my connection with the NPR people, that this was not the only reason that he was fired for. Because he had a series of events that led to this. He apparently insulted the First Lady when he made remarks on her. I don't know what kind of remarks he made, but he had already made several mistakes. And you know, they violated the ethics code of NPR, and they were forced to fire him. That's what I understood from my, you know, from my discussion with some people at NPR.
Well,
but as far as I'm concerned, I would urge the leadership of NPR to go back on their decision and to reinstate him and to open a dialogue and let the discussion begin.
Well, the funny part is he's now been hired by Fox News for $2 million a year, and I doubt NPR is going to pay him that. That must have been a raise, I would think. But here's what the CEO of NPR said, Vivian Schiller, about the firing.
His feelings that he expressed on Fox News are really between him and his, you know, psychiatrist or his publicist, or take your pick.
That's pretty harsh language, but it doesn't surprise me. What makes me really pleased to hear you say that there was a sensible dialogue that could have been provoked by this, as opposed to a knee-jerk political correctness reaction. Is that what you're saying?
Of course. Not only on this incident, but on the incident that also got Octavia Nasser fired after 20 years working for CNN. One statement she made about a Muslim clergy that died in Lebanon that caused her to fire only like 30 letters, that made her lose her job and 20 years of career at the CNN desk.
So
international. This is ridiculous. We need to open a dialogue. There's nothing should be prevented. Nothing should be limited to the discussion.
Nothing that pushes us even farther apart, that brings us together in open dialogue.
I think what pushes us apart is ignorance.
Thank you very much, Osama Siblani. We'll talk again soon, the publisher of the Arab American News. I'm Michael Patrick Shields on your Friday.